Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to episode number 7 of Live in the Holler with the Holler Boys. Joe, this is lucky number 7, episode lucky number 7.
Dude, I can't believe that we made it this far.
Well, it doesn't seem like we started 7 weeks ago.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It literally seems like we just started like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about it. But to start off, guys, I want to give a shout out to Lando for purchasing a Holler Boys hoodie on our merch account. So thank you, and thank you to everyone else who has purchased our merch as well. Sean?
Thank you. Like Joe said, we do appreciate the support that you guys are giving us. We're not really expecting, a lot.
No.
We're just 2 dudes, just
Chill.
kind of sitting here chilling, talking, giving like life stories, and just talk about things going on in their life. And then obviously all the proceeds from the merch go to the church.
Yeah.
So.
And like just a little bit on that, I know it kind of goes off the topic that we're doing, but I know it'd be pretty cool to go out of state, you know what I mean? And
I think it would be.
And see someone with their hoodie on,
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Sorry guys, holy crap. Oh man. But no, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Or just going to like a big event, like even around here, just going to a big event. Like if you're doing something and you see someone with like something that you designed on, you're just like, bro, that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
It makes you want to go talk to the person.
Yeah. No, we would go.
Oh yeah,
them,
definitely.
They'd be like, "Yo, what's up?"
Unless they came up to us first, like if we weren't paying attention and they saw us.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna sit there and just be like, "No, get away from me, gross." No, I'm not gonna be like that.
We're all human beings. We're all the same.
Yeah. You gotta treat the janitor with the same respect and dignity that you treat the CEO.
Exactly. Because they all have a job.
Yep.
They're all working for one thing.
Working for that bread.
Talking about work. Holy crap, man. I had a long day of welding.
Oof.
I'm sitting there, just TIG welding, just going along. Sean's doing his thing.
I was
hear
unhooking fittings from a hose.
And all I hear Sean say is,
"Joe, you're on fire." He didn't pay attention. He just looked up at me. He still had his mask down. And I said, "Joe, you are on fire." And he just opens it and just starts patting his chest.
just like that. Just pat my
Like he just like looks down and there's fire right on his chest and it's like hitting his chin and everything because it's gotten that big at that point. And it's just barely touching his chin and he goes and he starts like patting his chest.
Thinking back right now on that, I forgot to fill out a tag. I just threw it right into the bin and they already took it. Oh my goodness.
Well, good thing they're uniforms. So it wasn't your own shirt. But it's super thin material. So that stuff once it caught.
Yeah.
Cuz I saw it and I looked at it and I said, "Oh, the rod that you're using is on fire." And then I saw you move your hands away from your body and I said, "No, Joe's on fire."
Joe's on fire.
Joe's the one that's burning it up in here. It's getting hot in here. Okay, that's enough of that song.
You want to know something, though? We were talking about it. I still have yet to tell my wife that I got myself on fire.
She knows now.
Yeah, she'll know now. She'll know.
Do you want to hear a cool fact about heat?
Yeah, what's that?
Did you know that on average, the Eiffel Tower is 15 centimeters taller in the summer due to thermal expansion?
What?
Yeah.
It's taller in the summer.
It's taller in the summer because of the heat. Yeah, because the metal expands when it's hot.
Dude, that's crazy.
So it's on average 15 centimeters. It's only 15 centimeters, which, I mean, you sit there and you're like, oh, centimeters isn't that much. But something that large being taller than what it normally is, yeah, it varies, obviously, but its average it's 15 centimeters taller in the summer months.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
To think that you're on a building that tall, and that it's moving.
Yeah, because like the height of the Eiffel Tower is already nothing to like joke about. Like that's some serious height. It's
Yeah.
pretty tall. And then you sit there and you're like, oh, well now it's even taller in the summer months because of the thermal expansion.
It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I'd never go and look at a building like that. I would.
Like you wouldn't just go look at a building, or like you wouldn't see like a building like, oh, that's gonna be taller.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go to the city. I don't like the city.
That's
Just because
Paris.
of the tall.
You're gonna sit there and tell me if you had a chance to go to Paris, you're not gonna go to Paris?
I would. But,
Okay, well then there you go.
I would. It's just that's getting out of my comfort zone. Like seriously.
It's okay to step out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, I know it is, but like my first time going to Pittsburgh, seeing all those tall buildings, and those aren't even as tall as the buildings in New York. Like,
Where are you getting New York from, brother? We're talking about Paris. The Eiffel Tower is in Paris.
I know the Eiffel Tower's in Paris, but like from Pittsburgh to New York, you know what I mean?
Oh, you're making a comparison.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like going,
homie,
my first time going into Pittsburgh, like, no, I about threw up.
I think the last time I went to Pittsburgh, like actually like to Pittsburgh was when we went to the football game in your
I thought
car.
you went down there with
Yeah,
no,
we
that
didn't.
was on the outskirts.
We went on the outskirts, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in Pittsburgh.
But like actually like in Pittsburgh
With a car that was going.
with a car that barely drove.
That was scary. It really was.
Yeah. Hey, we made it home though.
Yeah.
It's all right.
But back to like the fire part though. I caught myself on fire. We just had that look on our face, like who cares? Like, but we were both laughing.
what
after,
was what was the worst that could happen? Like obviously I'm right there, so if it would have got out of hand, I would have pat you down. You obviously know you stop, you drop, and you roll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you roll. Obviously, your life is depending on it, so you better roll like your life depends on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's buckets of water all around anyway, so it would have been.
We call
Thanks.
the shop leaking roof.
Yeah, thanks to the leaking roof. You literally had at least 12 gallons of water sitting there.
Just sitting there.
So you would have been fine.
Yeah, I've been fine.
Couple first degree burns, maybe a couple second.
Yeah, you get
Light
all the
work.
time while welding.
Light work, dude.
About me getting caught on fire, got a little word for you guys. Set a fire down in your soul, okay? If you guys haven't heard that song, go listen to it. And make sure that in your relationship with God to not let that fire go out. You know what I mean?
It's
Just-
kind of like a candle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously, say your power goes out. You want that candle for light.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have
You
let God be your light.
Yeah, you have to have
Let God be your
love.
candle. You don't want that candle going out,
Mm-hmm.
because then it's gonna be dark and scary.
And we've talked about it in the past, but like that spark is your fire.
Mhm.
If you let that spark go out, then it's gonna be harder to get back to getting that light turned back on. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we have some pretty interesting.
Yeah, speaking of sparks,
oh,
guess
no.
what sparked up my interest?
What?
Have you seen the articles about the dire wolf?
Oh yeah, the dire wolf. Yeah.
Brother, okay. First of all, scientists are trying to clone the dire wolf and make the dire wolf again.
Didn't they already do that? I thought they already.
They
made
have
three pups.
they have a pup, yeah.
3 pups.
Second of all, these things are huge.
Dude,
Okay, so
scary looking thing.
if you take, like, say a dog, like a German Shepherd or a Husky, I'll use a Husky. You take a Husky, a full-grown adult husky and you put it next to a wolf, the wolf is bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's taller and it has bigger paws. A dire wolf is even bigger.
Do you think it's bigger than a lion?
I don't know.
Or are they probably about around the same?
I mean, me personally, if anything's bigger than a wolf,
I'd be scared of it.
I mean, I'm scared of a wolf because obviously, you know,
Those things are big.
they're big and they can be vicious.
Yeah.
Rawr. But
Wow.
no, I've seen way too many movies, just like with wolves like attacking people,
Yeah.
and some of them obviously are fictional, and then some of them are based on a true story, and they're just wolves are nothing to joke about. They're nothing to like, you know, play around with.
If you see a wild wolf, I wouldn't go near it.
Obviously,
Yeah. That's where Sean would get.
that would be like, ooh, a giant hole. Let me jump into it.
Yeah. No.
No, but like, so like I already know how big a wolf is. Like I've seen a wolf like at a zoo and
Yeah.
stuff. So knowing, okay, they're bigger than a German, like a husky, and so they're pretty big. And then you sit there and you're thinking, okay, a dire wolf, I don't know exactly how much bigger it is than a wolf, but I just know it's bigger. So you're sitting there like, okay, this thing's huge.
Like it's huge. I saw the diagram of like a husky to a wolf
Mm-hmm.
to a mountain lion, then to a dire wolf.
Yeah, I mean
It was
they're
bigger than the mountain lion.
yeah. Like I don't understand. One, why can't scientists just leave things alone? Like they're extinct for a reason. We're doing fine without them.
They're playing God when they shouldn't be. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool that you can do that, but like, if God has those animals extinct, it's for a reason. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That's like they want to bring back
The woolly
Like-
mammoth.
the woolly mammoth. They're gone for a reason, brother.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna like crack the ecosystem. You know what I mean?
Dude, they're messing with stuff that they don't need to be. And like, how do you know that one's not gonna like mutate and be bigger than what they planned?
Because they're already mutating the DNA to quote unquote match the DNA from a dire wolf.
But how can you match something that's been
Exactly.
extinct?
Well,
You don't know, that DNA could have changed between the time that dire wolf that they got the DNA from died to now.
Mhm.
Like that DNA could have changed.
Or unless they're guessing,
I mean, obviously, I mean, they gotta be.
they gotta be.
Like everything's a guess.
They're
Because
just
you can guess, like, yeah, you can dig up the bones of a dire wolf, but you don't know the muscle mass, you don't know the weight.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, you can kind of guess and get an estimate and stuff. I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of technology out nowadays, but there's no way they can know 100%. Oh, this is how big a dire wolf was.
They can't.
Like, okay, cool, but like that thing could have been absolutely jacked,
like ripped.
like full muscle, or it could have been mostly fur.
Mhm.
How do you know?
Like skinny and just mean.
Yeah.
But
But like, then again, though, that could be like taking like a two-year-old and comparing it to us.
continue. I'm listening.
So, like, if you think about it, they're taking the dire wolf,
Mhm.
and obviously, they have stuff to sit there and say, okay, this is the dire wolf. This is about how big it is.
Yeah.
So we can recreate that. So us sitting here saying there's no way that they know that's how big it was, that'd be like, you know, like us sitting here saying, like, oh, like we're the size of a 2-year-old.
Mhm.
Obviously we're not. Because like our bone structure and stuff isn't as big.
Mhm.
You want another fun fact of the day, Joe?
What's that?
Mm-hmm. You have the moon, okay?
Yeah.
The moon's pretty big. Right?
Yeah.
The moon, I believe, okay, again, this is, I know the basis of the fact, guys. I'm sorry if the numbers are wrong. The moon, I believe, is 3,400 kilometers wide. Okay, so 3,400 kilometers wide. Don't ask me about miles or meters or anything like that, okay? I just I don't have the energy to
It's what
convert.
your research said.
Yeah. So the research said the moon is 3,400 kilometers wide. Guess what is bigger?
What?
Australia.
No.
Australia is 4,000 kilometers wide. So therefore, Australia is wider than the moon. Tonight, we are going to steal the moon.
Bro, my mind is blown.
Throw a little Despicable Me up in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal the moon.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Because you look at the moon and you're like, whoa, that's big. You look at Australia on like the map and you're like, okay, it's big, but at the same time, it's not the biggest thing on the map.
Yeah.
But to sit there and like get it put into perspective, yeah.
Dude, just imagine though, the moon comes down. It's like Australia hitting you.
It wouldn't be like Australia hitting you because Australia's bigger.
It'd be like a smaller Australia hitting you.
A smaller Australia hitting you. I mean, I guess. But then again, though, if the moon hit us, the world would be over.
It's done. Like, it's done for. Gonzo.
Mhm.
Bonzo. Like,
Garbanzo beans.
dude.
I don't even know where that saying came from. Have you ever heard someone, like, instead of saying, oh, this is garbage or this is stupid, you hear someone say, this is garbanzo beans. And you're just like, what? What kind of beans?
What? What? No.
Homie, I only know baked beans. I don't.
Baked beans with bacon.
Oh. Bush's baked beans with bacon.
Goodness.
Oh,
my
man.
goodness. Wait.
We should not be talking about food because I'm
Syrup?
hungry right now.
The maple ones?
Oh, maple and brown sugar baked beans. Brother.
Or the
Did you
smoked
know?
maple? Oh!
No. This is, I wasn't even planning on telling Joe this fact. Did you know that the original, like the dog from the Bush's commercial, the one that we're used to, like from we were kids?
Yeah.
You know he passed away?
Are you serious? Is that why he's not on the can?
No. Do you know what? Do you want to know what his name was?
Beans.
No,
What was it?
I don't know.
You went all that way. Just his name had to have been.
I don't even think it had anything to do with beans or Bush's baked beans
Dude,
at all. That would
take
literally
down some Bush's baked beans right now.
controversy. Okay, hot take right here, guys. Let me know down in the comments. How do you feel about cold ravioli straight out the can?
Oh man, I used to do it all the time.
You know, 'cause you got to think it's already pre-cooked.
Yeah.
So technically,
You want to hear a funny story?
let's hear it.
I know. Look, so my mom hates raviolis.
Oh, I know.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Oh my goodness. She told us when she was younger, about our age, she went to a camp and one of the kids had raviolis. And the kid went out into games and went hard. You know what I mean? I might be like telling it a little wrong, so Mom, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry. But the kid came back and was feeling sick. Raviolis all over the place, thrown up.
You want to know something funny?
What's up?
The one day at youth group, she was telling us this story, and I asked you if you wanted to go to the dollar store to
We
get
got
drinks.
raviolis.
And I got a can of raviolis. We got back, I opened the can of raviolis. I sat down next to her and ate the can of raviolis cold.
I remember that.
Just plastic fork, just
I
right
remember
next
that.
to her. She's over here gagging and everything else. And she's like, no, get away from me, get away from me. And I'm just sitting there eating, just minding my own business.
But back to the story, nobody would clean up the thrown up ravioli. And they wouldn't let the kid clean it up because the kid was quote unquote sick. Everybody kept refusing and my mom had to clean it up.
That's gross.
And that's why she does not like raviolis. that you brought the raviolis up. Yeah.
Honestly, that's another reason why I have I have more respect for a janitor than I would a CEO.
Yeah.
Like obviously, I'm gonna sit there and respect the CEO of a company or like a boss of a company.
Mhm.
But
They
you
worked
gotta
hard to get there.
you gotta think some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
But you got to think a janitor. He's got to sit there and he's got to scrub toilets and clean up puke. Especially janitors of schools.
Oh my goodness, dude.
They are the like top-notch people because you got to think they got to clean up after snotty, sick little kids.
Yo, do you remember when kids would throw up in school? That white powder that they put over the puke?
Yes.
Oh my, just
They would just like you just see the janitor walk in, just then turn around and walk away. You're like, what is some white powder gonna do? Like the room still stinks.
even worse because
Like
of
it
the
stinks
powder.
worse now because of the powder. We're no longer gagging because of the puke. We're gagging on the powder dust in the
Yeah,
air.
exactly.
And you're like,
Hey, like we said last week with the dishes, just letting it soak.
yeah, just letting it soak. Just letting
Oh
it
my-
soak.
No, I remember in the school, we were all taking the test, and all of a sudden the kid behind me projectile vomits right towards me. I just got up. I said, I need to go get changed. Went to the nurses, and they have extra clothes in there. I wore baggy clothes the rest of the day. Then I went back to a classroom that smelled like absolute crap.
You know, that reminds me of a story.
Uh-oh.
So, I was in 5th grade, and we had this one kid. Like, he was trying to get a class 24/7. He would ask to go to the bathroom. He'd be gone for like 45 minutes.
What's bro doing?
He just didn't want to be there.
Just wanted to skip out.
The one day, our teacher had like a little area behind a bookshelf with a beanbag, and like if you weren't feeling good, you can like go back there and kind of like lay down and relax
Yeah.
and stuff. And he had like mints and stuff back there. So one day, this kid goes back there, and for some odd reason, he takes his book bag.
Oh boy. Wait, what grade was this in?
5th grade,
5th grade?
In 5th grade.
Oh boy.
and he takes his book bag. We don't know why he had his book bag because obviously we have lockers and stuff.
Wait, did you have cubbies or lockers?
No, we
in
had
fifth grade?
lockers. We had
Same,
lockers.
same.
Lockers. And,
5th grade, we had
Fifth
the
grade,
lockers.
but I think it was he was like called the nurse or something, and like the nurse said that he was going home and stuff like that. So I think that's why he had his book bag.
Yeah.
But next thing you know, he walks up to the teacher and he has a Ziploc bag in his hand, and he tells the teacher, "Hey, I just threw up." And the teacher's like, "Okay, where?" And he goes, "In the Ziploc bag." Mind you, it didn't even look like throw up. It literally looked like he walked into his kitchen at the house and just threw stuff together and put it in the, like he was lying just to go home. And
What?
Yeah.
Wait, how big was the baggie?
it was like one of those small little snack baggies.
And why was bro carrying a baggie?
That I don't know. But anyways, so he's like, "I threw up in the bag. That way it didn't get on the carpet." And he goes, the teacher was just like, what do you mean? Like, why'd you throw up in a baggie? Because I would rather have you throw up on the floor than in a small little baggie. And then the kid proceeds to open the baggie and dump it on the floor. Straight up, just opens and just. But the
I
thing
know
is,
it's not throw up.
it wasn't puke.
I know, but still, like,
It literally,
oh.
it was like kind of like a kid trying to make slime. It just all right out of the bag on once, just laid there on the floor. The teacher looks at the kid looks up at the teacher, and the teacher's like, "Clean it up now." I'm like, what possessed this kid's mind to open up a baggie full of fake puke and dump it on the floor just because the teacher said he would rather have it on the floor instead of in a baggie in his hand? Like, where do kids, like, come up with stuff like this?
Only our generation, right, John? Oh, my goodness.
Well, look at the next generation. Geez, you have the scientists trying to clone babies, too.
Exactly. That's weird.
It's
Blame
like,
God.
okay, first, oh, yeah, let's clone, like, a dire wolf. Okay, cool. That's kind of cool. Like, you're going to sit there and try to clone babies? Like, what happened? What happened to making them naturally?
Exactly.
Like, let's go back to the olden days.
Exactly.
You want another fun fact, Joe?
Oh my goodness.
This one, I don't know if you know this one yet or not. I've known this for a long time, actually, and it genuinely surprised me when I first heard it.
What's it about?
Well, I mean, it's about childbirth.
I might know because I did a lot of research with Cade being born 7 months ago.
Did you know
Okay.
that chainsaws were originally invented for childbirth? They were not invented
I'm trying to remember.
to cut trees down or like cut logs or anything. They were first invented for childbirth.
What the heck is a chainsaw gonna do?
What was a lobotomy supposed to do back then? Then again, they didn't have a whole lot of research or medical stuff. So like, oh wow, you got a small little cut? Okay, we're gonna chop your foot off.
True.
Oh, you have a headache? Yeah. But then again, back
Oh,
then...
you're having a baby? Let me take a chainsaw to your belly. Like,
Well, then again, some people, you know, back way back when... This is another little fun fact.
Yeah.
I wasn't really planning on this either.
Sean is rolling in with the fun
But-
facts today.
Way back when... I'm saying it like I'm old, like I was there. Way back when.
Way back when.
They thought, like, it was like back in, like, oh, you have this, you're a witch. Like, it was back then. They thought that if you had a headache, you were, like a psycho.
Just because of a headache.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah.
Yep.
You
Psych
got a
ward.
headache. You're on the stake. You're going.
Like, no, they wouldn't,
away.
like, they wouldn't, like, do stuff like that. It was like, oh, you have a headache? Psych ward.
You're going to the sack. Get in.
Like, they thought they were,
Like demonically, like
no,
possessed
like, just
or,
insane.
Just insane.
Yeah. And then it got to the point where, oh, you have a headache? Yeah, let's do a full-on lobotomy.
Just get in there and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck?
Then again, you know, they literally would cut people. Like, if you look at some of the stuff that they did back then for simple stuff
They should go
versus
to jail.
now, you're like, why would they even do
Ooh,
that?
I got one for ACL surgery. They used to tear your knee up from right here all the way up, making a big 8-inch to 9-inch cut right down the middle of your knee. Then they would spread it open, then fix it. Now, with the one I got, you got 1, 2, 3 slices where they get in there with the little hooks and all that, and a little hole up here on my thigh so they could shove a camera down in there and see what they're doing.
Yeah, microscopic surgeries.
Dude,
Obviously, they didn't have that back then.
no, they didn't, but still seeing what they used to do.
Yeah, because even for like the military, if you look back at like World War One,
Mm-hmm.
like people would get shot in the arm,
They
and
cut it
it'd be
off.
pretty. Like if it was pretty bad and they couldn't stop the bleeding, okay, well we're just gonna gone,
You're gone. Yeah.
no more arm. But
Gone.
nowadays, you can get shot 12 times, and
They ended up saving it.
yeah, I mean that might be a little exaggerating, but then again, we also have more protective layers, better armor, and stuff like that.
Wait. Unless you're Titusville Hospital.
Titusville Hospital does Jack Diddley squid.
They do a lot. We appreciate the workers.
We do appreciate. I'm not gonna sit there and say that I don't appreciate Titusville Hospital. I do, but it's not just Titusville Hospital. It's not just the nurses. Like honestly, there's levels. So like you have like an RN, an LPN, stuff like that.
They just doing their job.
Personally,
They need better doctors.
I'm gonna do this shout out real quick. Personally, shout out to all the CNAs, the certified nursing assistants. They are the ones that are mostly, honestly, pretty much doing everything.
Yeah, literally.
And I'm not going to sit here and say that RNs don't do anything and LPNs or doctors or MAs, like, they don't do anything. But CNAs, they do quite a bit, and they're overlooked. Most people don't know this. Another fun fact, Joe already knows this, so it's not a fun fact for him, but a fun fact for you guys. I was actually a CNA. I
Yeah.
had my certificate. I went to Votech for it. I was going to use it for the military, but I didn't. And now I'm here
Didn't work out.
rebuilding hydraulic cylinders with Joe.
It's the life.
Yeah. But again, shout out to all of the medical staff, but a really big shout out to the
I was just going in
CNAs.
because you were talking about like back in the Civil War, you get shot, boom, they
Yeah.
cut it off. Josh, when he stepped on the nail, he went up to Titusville Hospital and they said, "Oh, we're gonna have to cut it off."
Yeah.
He still has his foot, but like,
Yeah, some people I don't understand. Like some doctors, they just have like that mentality of, oh, okay, well that sucks,
yeah,
whatever. And then you have some that are actually like genuine. And
this.
it's like, okay,
We got
if we
this.
don't do something now
Mhm.
and you let it go, then we'll have to.
That's
But,
why he was sent to where was it, Erie? Yeah, he was sent to Erie, and he got it all cleaned out. And they're like, "Who told you you're gonna cut it off Titusville?" They're like, "Oh my goodness."
yeah. But then again, you go in there and you need, like, say, an X-ray done because you think you broke your hand. And you're sitting in the waiting room for 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah.
Like I understand, like if you go to a bigger city hospital, I understand the wait. Like I would not be mad waiting. Like if I went to a hospital up in Erie or Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain about the wait.
You go
But
to
here
a
in this small town, you could literally be the only one in the waiting room,
And you're
and there's
still
no one
waiting.
back in the rooms, and somehow magically, oh, we're just waiting on a bed. There's 12 right there. I see 12 empty rooms.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't make sense.
so like I said, I don't want you guys being mad. Like, I appreciate all medical staff.
Yeah,
I appreciate all
them, too.
hospitals and all doctors and stuff like that. But when, like, you're the only one in the emergency room and it's a slow night
Yeah,
and you literally know you're the only one there, you're the only car in the parking lot, you look and peek inside, like down the hall at all the rooms and all the lights are turned off
yeah,
and you can see the cleaning lady in there, like,
yeah.
you
Just
know, in a
going-
couple of the rooms doing her thing. Like, why am I sitting here for 3 hours
I know.
waiting to get 3 pictures taken of my hand?
I know one of my buddies that I went to school with got hit in the face and he was bleeding like real bad. Went to the Titusville emergency room. He sat there for about 2 hours and he had a puddle of blood sitting around his chair. They didn't get him back there.
Like,
Dude's bleeding out of his head, like face.
I like that obviously Titusville Hospital is the closest hospital around to us. But at that point, I might as well sit in the car for an extra half hour, 45 minutes,
And get
and just
to
go to like
Seneca.
Seneca.
Yeah, literally.
Or
Seneca's
if I want
right
to sit,
there.
if I want to sit there for an hour waiting for help, I might as well go to Erie.
Yeah.
Like-
One thing is, with Ashlyn being pregnant 7 months ago, whenever her water broke, boom, we were at Seneca in like 25 minutes. That's because I was kind of driving a little fast at first.
Well, that's also Titusville doesn't have a maternity ward anymore.
Yeah, for a reason. For reasons. Most likely. For reasons.
I mean, hey, I came out of Titusville.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, I was born in Titusville Hospital.
Guess where I was born? Bradford, PA.
What a wiener, dude.
All of my brothers were born in Butler. I was born in Bradford.
What a wiener, dude.
I know.
No, I don't even know when Titusville shut the maternity ward down.
I think my cousin John was one of the last.
No. What year was he born?
He's 15 now, so
Be 2011? Depending on when his birthday is. 2010, 2011?
yeah.
No, because I think it's only a couple years after I was born. I think it's early 2000s. No, that I'll have to research that.
Yeah, we'll have to
Look
do a
it up.
little research on there. Yeah,
I don't know. That makes my brain hurt, though.
yeah, it does.
Sitting there trying to think. I just did math, and I didn't want to do math, guys. Now I have a headache. Great. No, I'm just
Second,
joking.
John, I'm sorry.
Honest, see,
I'm
what
sorry,
makes no
Sean.
sense is I can do, like, if it's basic math, if someone asks me, like, random question, like, hey, what's, like, 135 plus 278? I can't do that. Like, I can't do
You're
that.
making my brain hurt
I can't
now.
do that off the top of my head.
There's reasons why I didn't go to college, Sean.
I didn't go to college either. But if it comes down to, like, like car stuff. If it's like, okay, what's this and this? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's this.
Boom, 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 boom.
Or if you're like asking about conversions, like, oh, what's 14 millimeter
Boom, boom,
standard?
boom, boom,
Oh, okay,
boom.
that's 9/16.
Yeah.
You know, like what's 13 millimeter standard?
Boom, boom,
Half
boom,
inch.
boom. Yeah.
It's like I don't have to think about stuff like that. But yeah, when it comes to like basic math and just randomness, I can't.
Dude, but that's the thing that keeps America running. People don't understand it. They don't have to go to college. Seriously.
I mean, it will depend on what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
Now, you will have people that say, "Oh, you need to go to college to get a good job."
You don't.
No, you don't.
No.
Now, if you want to be like a doctor or a lawyer,
Yeah.
obviously you have to go to college.
Because you have to train in that certain area
Yeah,
so you
but-
can get certified.
I mean, if you are blue collar and you want a good job, you do not need to go to college.
Most people just go to tech and they go from tech
Yeah.
into job.
Some don't even do that.
I didn't. I thought I was getting a full ride for football, but
I obviously didn't because I went to Votech for health and I became a CNA. And like I said, now I'm here. I haven't done a single thing CNA wise since I got out of high school.
But you could. Couldn't
It's
you?
all been, yeah, I could have.
You can't now. It's probably.
Yeah, my certification's expired and I didn't renew it. No, I
Do
wasn't.
you think you remember everything you learned or no?
Everything? No. Some stuff, yeah.
Some things that just stuck.
So, yeah, because another reason why I did it was I was always good at health class
Mm-hmm.
and like science, and I was just fascinated by the human body and how it worked and how everything was together.
Yeah.
Kind of like a car. And so I was like, yeah, sure. I turned the 3-year programs down because I was accepted into auto body class. I was accepted into automotive technology and accepted into diesel tech.
But bro was like,
So I could have done-
I got that.
I could have done all, like, I could have done one of those 3. And it just came down to which one I wanted to do. Well, I turned them all down because I wanted to continue with the robotics class that my
Yeah.
school has. Did the robotics class, and I was like, you know what?
Not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it. Well, we had a teacher, then we didn't, and then it was like back and forth. So I didn't know if the robotics class was going to be there for me to do it 3 years in a row. So I talked to the counselor or whatever.
Yeah, the count. Yeah.
For the Votech, and I said, listen, can I pick a 2-year course? And they're like, oh yeah, sure, like, you know, whatever. And a couple of my friends, they were doing the health occupations one. So I was like, well, you know, I mean, you're learning about the human body. I always liked the human body and stuff like that. So yeah, sure, I'll just pick that one. Got accepted into it. And then I did it. And senior year, I was like, you know, yeah, I'll join the military. I'll be a corpsman, which
Yeah.
is a medic. And this will give me a head start on it.
Mm-hmm.
And go to college for free through the military and everything else. Well, that got shot down. So I was like, well, I guess the guy had to
You
find a
trained
job.
hard to try
I
to
did.
get to the military.
First job, I was pushing a broom
Mm-hmm.
at a machine shop. Went from pushing a broom there to being a CAD drawer, like on the computer and stuff, and drawing stuff up for them and like cutting stuff out with the plasma table. Quit there right before COVID happened. I just kind of did my own thing. I was just doing mechanics and stuff for people, which they paid good at first, but you know.
Yeah.
Then that started slowing down, so I started stacking lumber at Homerwood.
That was a fun job.
Right.
Yeah. We're going to use that word lately.
Yeah. I worked there for a year and a half, and probably every day for that year and a half, I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to find me a new job, and I never did. The only reason why, I think honestly, the only reason why I still don't work there is because the plant closed down.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling if the plant closed down, I'd probably still be there.
You got it. You got it. Truth behind that.
Because, I mean, it wasn't a bad job. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it.
I was getting paid pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, back then, for like what the economy was, yeah, back then it was pretty nice. I mean, most people would sit there and look at that and be like, that's not very nice. But I mean, to young guys like us,
yeah,
where we didn't have a whole lot, like we didn't have house payments, we didn't have, yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of stuff to worry about. It was nice, but
if kids are watching this, don't grow up. No, seriously, you need to grow up now, or you're gonna be in the same situation we were in.
don't have kids at a young age.
What are you talking about?
Save up for it, plan for it. Don't have kids at a young age.
You're never gonna be ready for having a kid.
Well, yeah, but
Never. The only reason me and
enjoy
Ash had kids.
your youth.
The only reason me and Ash had kids is because we looked at each other and we're like, I want our kids to like live a life with us. You know what I mean? I'm young, you're young. We get a longer life together if everything goes well. You know what I mean?
No, I'm single, so I don't know what you mean. So
I'm sorry, Sean.
it's all right.
I'm sorry.
Honestly, like, do I miss being in a relationship? Yeah,
I know you do.
but at the same time, being single was nice.
Just peace.
Yeah, right. I'm not fighting with her. I'm just fighting with myself.
Yeah.
No, but like I said, being in a relationship's nice because you have that other person. But at the same time, being single's okay. Like, just because all of your friends are in a relationship doesn't mean you have to be in a relationship.
You're getting deep here, Sean.
But then again, just because all your friends are single doesn't mean you have to be single either.
Exactly. Find the one for you.
Yeah.
If you just got out of a relationship,
Don't rush into another
don't
one.
rush into one. Like, seriously. Not even 2 months after. Not even 3, 4, 5, or 6. Take some time to heal what has been broken. Okay.
I mean, I'm going on almost 2 years.
Sean's, yeah, you're going on 2 years.
This October of 2025 will be 2 years that I've been single.
It's that time, like, literally, it's a time of silence.
Yeah, like
you feel alone, but you know you're not alone.
Yeah, like I'm healed from everything that happened, and if something happens with someone else, then it does. If not, like, I'm fine with it. But I'm at that point now where, because before, right after, a couple months after, I was like, okay, I'm ready for another one.
Yeah.
Which I obviously wasn't, and then I started thinking, oh well, that sucks being single and all this other stuff. But now, once you get to that point of, if you've been single for a while, you learn how to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta think about it. Valentine's Day comes around, I ain't gotta buy nothing. I can buy myself chocolate.
I didn't have enough money to buy Ashlyn anything.
Christmas comes around, bro, I ain't gotta buy nothing except for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to remember a birthday. Nothing. Just me, myself, and I. So it is nice. There are perks of being single. But like I said, just because everyone else is in a relationship, that's one thing that I struggled with, is I would see everyone else in a relationship and I'm like, well, I want that. Like, I want something to connect with it. But no, it's okay if, just because all your friends or your family's all together and, like, anyone you hang out with isn't single, it doesn't mean you don't have to be single. Like, it's okay to be single.
It's okay.
And, like, honestly, to be honest, right now, I prefer it. I don't think it's I want to be single. I think it's I need to be single. Because I know there's a lot of growing up I have to do. There's a lot of things that I have to take care of.
Yeah.
And just get myself to where I need to be. Not only mentally, physically, but also, like, my relationship with God.
Yeah.
And once the time's right, then obviously, I'll be presented with the right one.
You do have a contract. I did. You do have something to fall back on.
So This is a funny story. This happened this morning, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking to our office lady at work, and we were talking about marriage and stuff, and she goes, it's a commitment. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, any relationship's a commitment. Because if you're not going to be committed to the one person that you're in a relationship with, then why be in that relationship to begin with?
True.
But anywho, she's like, it's a commitment. Like a marriage license is like a contract. It's a commitment. And I was joking around with her, and I said, yeah, well, I'm in a 6-year-long commitment with my car. Because that's how long the loan is.
Yeah.
She laughed at it, but she turned and she was just like, that's not funny. And I'm like, well, it's the same thing.
She's like,
I mean, it's a commitment. I'm committing to this car
cheese and rice
for 6 years, which, I mean, we just hit 3 years. So
yeah. Well, hey, I know people have been talking a little bit. Like, we cannot keep our topics on one topic at all. Dude, we even talked about it. Hey, we need to try to stick on one topic. But dude,
we can't.
It's our minds, dude. Like,
Well, we talk about one thing and we try to stay on topic, but then it branches off to another thing.
is it the ADHD?
So, hey, I got 80 of them things, brother. Dude, I love watching those TikToks. I don't know what ADHD is. I don't know what HD is, but the doctor says I got 80 of them.
Oh, seriously, though. Oh.
But yeah, so everyone that says that, we do enjoy feedback.
Yeah, we
obviously,
do. Like, seriously, put down some feedback down there.
I would say we listen to it, but obviously we kind of don't, because people keep saying that we're all over the place, and we're still all over the place.
Yeah.
But we try.
We try so hard, dude.
So hard to stay on topic or talk about, like, one specific thing that branches off into another thing.
It just keeps branching off.
It branches off into 50 million other things.
You guys get a little side of, like, what our minds look like.
That's scary.
Yeah, that is scary.
But yeah, we do appreciate everyone's feedback.
Keep them coming, though. Like,
if it's good, if it's bad, it's okay. We take it as constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Now, if you're sitting there saying, "Oh, you guys are fat," screw off. Okay. Obviously, I'm not going to listen to that kind of criticism. Okay, because I already know that. But if you're sitting there like, okay, hey, like, I think you guys should, like, try doing it this way, or like, maybe this will help you.
Don't be like Jim and say, that's a crappy weld.
Yeah.
Well, no dip, Sherlock.
Yeah, but, like, obviously we had feedback.
Sorry, kind of went off topic.
The episode that we did with Brandy, you can literally watch the video. Joe and I are looking all around us. And with the weather being nice, we want to try and do multiple different spots each time. And we wanted to do one outside. Because obviously it's live from the Holler. Live in the Holler. My bad, I'm sorry.
Live in the Holler.
Dyslexia. But live in the Holler. So obviously we want to do stuff outside and in the woods and stuff. And being out in public just kind of threw our minds all over the place.
It was bad.
Now, like, we could be outside as long as there's not a whole lot going around us. But
just trying to find a spot outside, really.
Yeah.
With
But obviously, we took the feedback that we got from that and said, hey, you guys probably shouldn't do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. So constructive criticism, we appreciate. We
do need to get Brandy back on. So we can, like, redo basically that episode of us being.
But yeah, constructive criticism, we appreciate. I mean, normal criticism. But like I said, if you're gonna sit there and just call us fat and call us names, please don't.
We already know.
Like,
Just kidding.
we know. You don't have to sit there and call me fat. You don't have to sit there and call me, Gigantosaur or something like that. I know,
Or
okay? I am
Mr.
tall.
Lots of rolls. I can't. I started the wheeze though. You guys can't
Like,
see that side.
if you guys want to if you guys want to put a joke down in the comments, like a funny joke, that's different.
Dude, I don't know how Queso does it though. Like,
Again, like, if you want to sit there and, like, joke around with us about it, because like
Oh,
we
yeah.
joke around about being
Oh,
big
yeah.
too. But like if you're straight up like just gonna put down in the comments, hey, you need to work out, you're fat. Don't. Okay, people, we have feelings too. But if you're and like if we're doing a live and you see Joe or I jump and you're like, Alaska just fell off the map. Obviously, I'm gonna look at the camera and be like, "What you mean?"
Joe jumped up in the air and got stuck.
Earthquake in California. 12 found dead.
I'm dying over here.
But like, if we're ever doing a live or video and you guys are like sitting there, like messing around with us, like they do with Queso, honestly, I'm fine with it. It's funny. But if you're just gonna be mean, don't.
Whoever's sending the whale emote, stop it.
If it's about Joe, you can keep doing it. But no, like
on
we
a serious
appreciate
note.
we appreciate everybody. We appreciate all the feedback that we're getting, even if it's not so good.
Yeah.
I've been doing really good with the whole accents.
Yeah.
I noticed that if I'm like really hyper, the accents come out. Like obviously I've done accents in the podcast before, but it was like story time and stuff like that. But I'm not just like, yeah, I don't know. I was gonna do an accent there, but I couldn't decide which one to do, so I just bailed on the idea.
Got me grip.
Got me grip. That was, oh man, that was great.
Okay.
Joe's yelling at me. Just turn it already. I got Nick grip.
I got Nick
turn it,
grip.
man. Nick grip. But yeah, no.
On a serious note.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
This was a good, solid episode. Normally we end on a serious note, but we're ending kind of on a funny note.
Yeah.
Like I said, though, we appreciate all the feedback that we get from you guys. Nice, good, bad. Again, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
Because we do have feelings. Okay.
And just know, if you guys have a prayer request, drop it down in the chat. We're always praying for you guys, praying for our viewers, praying that God would help this channel kick off. You know what I mean?
And remember, you are loved.
Yeah, you are loved, and don't give up. You guys stay strong, keep it going, and make sure to start that relationship with God. Okay, guys?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh yeah. And on that note, guys, thank you for coming into the Holler. We'll see you next time.